Hi, everyone. We are here today with our friend and colleague, Kim Magowan. Kim Magowan is the author of the novel The Light Source and three previous short story collections, Don't Take This the Wrong Way, co-authored with our friend Michelle Ross, How Far I've Come, and Undoing, which won the 2017 Moon City Press Fiction Award. Her stories have been selected for Best Small Fictions and Wigleaf's Top 50. She serves as the editor-in-chief and fiction editor of Pithead Chapel. She lives in San Francisco with her family and teaches at Mills College at Northwestern University. And you told me the intricacies of that. When did Northeastern University buy Mills College?
2001.
Oh, okay. So pretty long ago. And how has that changed academia in your?
I mean, it's changed it so much.
Oh,
I feel like this is a longer conversation, but I think Northeastern is still trying to figure out how to use the Oakland campus. There were a couple of years of transition where we were graduating out our remaining Mill students. And now most of the students on our campus are freshmen, Northeastern freshmen who come to Oakland for a year and then go to Boston. And so it's very different. You know, I'm teaching mostly first year writing instead of English and American literature, which I was teaching before. But we have started a creative writing minor.
oh,
So this will interest you, Chris. I'm teaching a flash fiction class next year.
well, bless you.
And
Thank
I'm
you for your
sure to lasso you into talking to my students.
Um, I would love to talk about how you plan to approach teaching the flash narrative. And not today, but can we get on a Zoom call one day and do that?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll send you my syllabus. But I was
Okay.
hoping to get you to come visit my class.
I
It'll
will.
be online. So
I,
online synchronous, if we can work out the
if I send the right
Germany.
Zoom link,
Well, it'll be my Zoom link for that class.
if
So
you
if
send
there's
the
any
right Zoom.
failures about it, it's on me.
Okay. No, I can't wait to do that. I'm already getting excited about that. So you teach composition, though I taught composition for a while, and that's difficult. Do you find like over the years that the writers are getting better, or do you think people are prepared for university?
Well, the Northeastern students are very good. It's hard to get into. So
Mhm.
yes, they're good students and they are prepared for university. I I guess the thing that makes my heart sink a bit as a professor is my students don't like to read the way they used to like to read. And I don't know if that's about this particular set of students or if it's just some Generation Z. It does seem to me like over the past 10 years, it's been harder to get students to read, Middlemarch, some huge tome.
I
My
loved
kids still
March.
do
What's
it.
wrong with these people?
I know it's probably my number one favorite novel,
It's
but
funny. Oh my
yeah,
God. I remember reading it all these years ago and thinking, my goodness, those Victorians were funny.
yeah.
So, okay. So here's a plug for Middlemarch from Flash Writers. Yeah, maybe George Eliot was a Flash writer at heart. Don't think so. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it is 1,000 pages, so
Yeah, it's a
maybe not.
stretch. That's a stretch. Okay, good. Yeah. Oh, I thought she
Yeah.
probably got confused and thought 1,000 pages, right? Not 1,000 words. Okay. So, Kim, um, this book is wonderful. We're going to talk about it a little bit, but why don't you read a little bit from it for us?
Sure. So the book is in 4 sections, and roughly the first section is about, so the whole book is about relationships. First section is about relationships with romantic partners. The second section about relationships with friends, which includes estranged friends and coworkers and enemies of various sorts. The third section is about family, and the last section is kind of about oneself. So I was going to read a story from the first section now, and this is for Mike Chizniewski because he likes this one and keeps bugging me to read it. So it's called My Husband, My Ex-Boyfriend, and the Love of My Life Walk into a Bar. My husband, my ex-boyfriend, and the love of my life walk into a bar. Though really, in this dream, it's more a saloon than a bar, with swinging doors that slap the walls. I'm behind the bar, so I assume I'm the bartender. We're all in old-timey clothes. I'm wearing a long skirt that brushes the dusty floor. My hair's in a bun. I touch it to confirm every strand is in place because it's not every day that a woman encounters 3 guys she's had sex with, in my case, number 16, number 13, and number 7. I watch through narrowed eyes as the 3 of them take a table. They huddle together, whispering. Then the love of my life walks up. He looks like himself, but vaporish, white, smoky. I can see through him. I'm surprised his body is solid enough to fill out his rough cotton and leather clothes. 3 bourbons, 1 on the rocks, 1 with 1 cube of ice, and 1 neat, he says. I'm relieved he ordered something easy, because though the dream has assigned me the role of bartender, it hasn't accompanied that with any mixology knowledge. Still, I say, you don't drink bourbon. I do now, says the love of my life, wearily. So I wipe the dusty bottle of Maker's Mark with a cloth and pour 3 glasses. I tong a cube of ice in 1 glass, 4 in another. The love of my life picks up those 2 and turns to bring them to my ex-boyfriend and my husband. Wait, I say. Resignedly, he places the glasses back on the counter. I'm mad at him. Why, though? For not being overjoyed to see me? For dying, I figure. For leaving me. For initiating the bad decisions phase of my life. Instead of watering blown-out peonies, crocheting baby socks, and shopping at Home Depot, doing the things we were meant to do together, I was drowning my grief by fucking a series of bad men. My ex-boyfriend was witty and clever, but he found everything I liked trivial or boring. Each time we broke up, I lost 5 pounds. By the time I met my husband, my ribs showed. Turns out my husband is only attracted to emaciated women. After we got married, I gained 15 pounds. We haven't had sex in over a year. Why do you have to die? I ask the love of my life. Of course, it's not his fault a plank of scaffolding fell and cracked his skull. It's not like he was driving drunk and crashed into a tree. It's not like he smoked 3 packs a day and got lung cancer. Still, now my life sucks because of him. He blinks at me sadly with his vaporish eyes. He lifts the glass to his lips, the bourbon neat, and takes a big sip. I watched the bronze liquid travel down his beautiful, transparent throat and then disappear behind his solid shirt. I wish I could disappear too, like it did, like he did. And do you want me to read another one, Chris? Do I have time? Okay. So this one is from the Friends section, and big quote marks, big scare quotes around Friends. But this one is called Strawberry Balsamic Donut. And this one was in the Wigleaf's Top 50. Strawberry Balsamic Donut. In college, Nell slept with the boyfriends of her best friends. At the time, she couldn't account for this behavior, though in therapy years later, she decided it had to do with her older sister, Rosemary, whom her parents had always favored and who was possessive and spoiled. Nell and Rosemary shared a bedroom, but in this room, the only thing that truly belonged to Nell was her own bed. The desk, the top drawers of the bureau, and the rocking chair by the window were all understood to be Rosemary's. Rosemary would snarl at Nell when she left, say, a cardigan draped on the back of the rocking chair. The theory Nell and her therapist developed was that sleeping with her friends' boyfriends was a twofold reaction to these sibling inequities. Nell grasped at things that were off limits, but in a self-sabotaging way that affirmed Nell was herself unworthy of love, loyalty, or a boyfriend of her own. She was only entitled to scavenge for scraps. Of these men she slept with in college, there was only one Nell really liked, Kurt, her friend Lucy's boyfriend. Kurt was too strange looking to be handsome. Gaunt, large-nosed, he looked like an El Greco martyr, but he had slim, elegant feet. 13 years later, Nell is in Portland, Oregon, a city she'd never been to before, waiting in line at a famous donut place while her boyfriend shops at Powell's. Graham could spend all day in a bookstore. Right ahead of her is a dog with a ropey ombre coat that makes him look upholstered. When the dog raises its face, Nell sees that its eyes are two different colors, one light blue, one brown, like Lucy Markham's eyes. She takes a startled step back, looks up, and recognizes the man with the dog. Kurt, she says. He does not immediately recognize her, and then he frowns. Nell. For a few minutes, they exchange small talk. He's lived in Portland for 5 years. Yes, the donuts are really that good and worth the line. Esme, settle down, he scolds the dog. She has eyes like Lucy, Nell says. Kurt tilts his head, neither agreeing nor disagreeing. You heard about Lucy? He nods reluctantly, as if he is only allowed a limited range of motion. I had the strangest dream about her a month before she died, Nell says. She was standing over me, holding a bowl of bright green, sludgy-looking broth. Take a spoonful, she said, but I refused. I clamped my lips together, and Lucy looked pissed off, and I woke up. Then, a month later, I heard she died. Do you think it was a premonition? Kurt shrugs minutely. Nell pats the dog's dreadlocked head. Bladder cancer is extremely rare in women under 35, she says. But you know what else is extremely rare? Having one blue eye and one brown eye. That's neither here nor there, says Kurt. He gives her a cold, openly disdainful look, then says, I have to go, and abruptly walks away. The dog trots after him. Nell continues to wait in line, but now she feels miserable. A day before, she and Graham strolled through Portland, looking up to admire the tree canopies, then down at the frothy, abundant gardens that seemed like overboiling pots, bubbling with flowers. "We should move here," Graham said. It seemed perfect, a city made for underachievers. "Sweetie, you deserve to be happy," Graham said to her later that night, kissing the backs of her fingers. She could marry him, Nell thought. She imagined having an elfin daughter named Marigold. But seeing Kurt, seeing the chill that radiates from him like spokes from a child's drawing of a sun, deflates Nell. She walks back to Powell's disconsolately, chewing her strange, disappointing donut. Why put balsamic vinegar in a donut? It doesn't make sense. The gardens that yesterday looked so verdant with their inviting weathered trellises now menace her. The plants are the same bright green of the soup Dream Lucy tried to make her eat. And that's the end. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Now I have lots of questions. Now the first question that I have is how scenes how you developed scenes, because the scene and the interaction amongst characters is very important in all of these stories. I feel, and, maybe a few of the micros are different, but the scene, you seem to develop your writing through scene. Tell me if I'm wrong. But that's my first question. But my real question is, in another life, in a parallel universe, would you have been a psychiatrist?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, it's funny that you say that. Did I never talk to you about this before, Chris?
No, I just see it.
I say
Just see it
this
in your
with,
writing.
yeah, that's true. I do have a lot of skepticism about psychoanalysis and whether it's actually useful to anyone. But when I was 19, I was taking a sociology class at Stanford, and they gave us the Myers-Briggs test. And I remember I was an INFP, introvert, intuiting, feeling, perceiving. And the 3 jobs it told me I was suited for were being an artist, a teacher, or a therapist.
Yeah.
And I remember even at 19 thinking, well, that's really accurate. So I'm 2 of those things. And yeah, in another life, I could totally see myself being a therapist. I'm endlessly interested in how people's minds work.
And that really comes through in your writing, and that's what I mean, the scene, the interaction amongst characters. So now, so give us an idea of how you create scene, or how the scenes come to you like that, because they're varied and there's so many.
Yeah. I mean, I remember with the strawberry balsamic donut, what I remember about the origins for that story is my family went on a road trip, and it was more than a year into the pandemic. So it's when everyone had already had the vaccines. And we stopped first in Portland, which I'd been to for the first time. You were there too at that Portland AWP, but we went to, I can't even remember which of the many donut places it was, but we went to one of the celebrated donut places. So that was one germ. And then the other thing from the same road trip that got in the story was we went to Portland, then Seattle, then Missoula, Montana. And there was a dog in Montana that had those David Bowie eyes, one brown eye and one blue eye. So, it didn't start with the scene so much as these 2 things that I wanted to get in a story, which was the donut that had some bizarre flavor, and the dog with what is it called? Heterochromia, the eyes that don't match. So
The
that was how that story started.
Right. And I just have to say, I find the balsamic tasty. I don't know. I think it might be a good donut. Did you eat that donut?
No, but I've had that combination before.
Mhm.
Balsamic vinegar with strawberries
Strawberry.
is one of the classics. I
Yeah.
think I've had it in sorbet or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
So it seemed like flavors that you would pair together, but
Right.
I mean, Nella's not supposed to be an appealing character.
No,
So,
she's not. And the first
yeah,
time I read that story, I was thinking, "Hey, what's wrong with Kurt? Be nice to her, what?" And I was like, "Oh my God, she is like so annoying, and
yeah.
really insensitive." He has just lost his girlfriend, right? Okay. Um,
Well, a long ago girlfriend, but yes, her turning it into some, all about me anecdote about a dream. I don't know if my sister made it through the the Zoom hurdles of getting in here, but my sister Hillary, when she first read that story, was like, "This is such an obnoxious character. I hate this character."
oh, it
Yes,
actually.
I like writing and repelling characters.
Okay. So what? But what's the most repelling character you've ever written?
Um, there's a guy in my novel, and it was for me, the most fun chapter to write, who is a real bastard, named Porter. And that was by far the chapter I most enjoyed,
Okay.
being in his head.
All right. So that's in the light source. For those people who are wondering, the novel and okay, very nice. Um, so I have one more question uh, before we go to the breakout room. So the at least the first section of the last day explores lots and lots of different kinds of human relationships, but mostly broken ones. Um, uh, but in a way that is it is funny. And I think you and Michelle and Mike and we've talked about the snark,
Mm-hmm.
that feeling of yes, these characters are annoying, and yes, it's difficult, and yes, everyone's breaking up, but it's kind of funny a little bit. Do you have that feeling?
Yeah, I mean, I when I compare my books, I think my first book is a sadder and more somber book. So the Undoing book, my first short story collection. And I do feel like in the last few years, I've made a deliberate choice to try and be funnier and lighten up. And even when I'm writing about serious subjects like death and grief, try and get some humor in there.
But I
Um,
would like to posit that this is kind of the balsamic jelly donut.
yeah, I like that. I
Yeah.
like that.
It's an
Um,
extended metaphor for you there.
yeah, yeah. I
So
mean, I don't know if you've ever seen that show Fleabag, Chris.
I have, and I love. Is her name Miranda, or I can't remember the actress's name, the actor's name. Um, I think it's
Who
Miranda.
plays Fleabag?
Yeah.
Phoebe Waller Bridges, I think, someone I'm
Okay.
sure knows here. But I love that show. I've watched it several times. And that is a perfect example to me of how you can write about really sad things. I mean, it's a show all about grief and trying to get over the death of her mother and also her best friend, but approach it through humor. Um,
Yeah, and
and I
that
like that.
Yeah, exactly, and I do too. I think that is one secret recipe for to layer a story, layer those two things. together. Okay. We're going to go to a breakout room. So remember, this is being recorded for participants who are not able to be here live. And it will be going up in the village as soon as Video Guy gets it done. And it will be public on our YouTube channel, and we'll be sharing it on social media and celebrating Kim Magowan. And the last day, which is a really, really excellent flash collection because, I mean, really is, maybe there are a couple of stories over 1,000 words in this, maybe, or right at it. But really, this is a flash collection that explores human relationships from all sides. And I'm amazed by your perception, Kim. And so anytime you want to do psychotherapy with me, I'm ready.
Yeah.
I'm ready. Okay. So welcome back, Kim Magowan. Hey, how do you feel about pop quizzes?
I can do pop quizzes. I'm a teacher.
Yes. Okay. But do you give your students pop quizzes?
Never.
Oh, well, okay. That's sweet of you. I mean, really, because that's sweet. I like pop quizzes, but I think I told in another event, my modern drama teacher gave us a pop quiz on the second day of class, and I was so stressed and I was so like overworked. I had like 6 English classes with like Middlemarch to read, for example, that I had let modern drama slip a bit. And he gave us a pop quiz, and I knew nothing, and ended up getting a D on it. How did I get a D if I knew nothing? Oh, but I dropped the class because that wasn't having that. I wasn't having that. But you are up for a pop quiz. Okay.
I guess. Sure.
It
Said nervously.
It'll be kids play. It'll be kids play.
Okay.
So there are 3 sections. There is a fill in the gap section and a multiple choice, but you can only choose A or B, so not so multiple. Okay, so in the first section, all you have to do is fill in the gap, and don't think too much. Don't worry.
Okay.
Yeah, don't worry too much. No stress. My best ideas come to me when I'm
Walking.
correct. Good.
Correct.
My perfect writing day would be
Doing a flash-a-thon with Mike and Michelle and whoever else wanted to join us. One of those,
Okay.
start at dawn, go for 6 or 7 hours, bang out a lot of messy drafts.
Okay, correct. That's quite collaborative, and we're going to talk about that, the idea of collaboration later. But yeah, correct. I'd be rich if I had $1 for every time.
I forget where I put my glasses.
Oh, God, correct. Now, how many pairs of glasses do you have?
I just had to get 2 more because one of them broke. But my husband gives me endless shit about this. I'm still using the spin rack reading glasses, that you get at an indie bookstore or Walgreens. I have yet to make the proper appointment with an optometrist to get prescription glasses, which I should do.
Okay. Well, yes, correct. My favorite short story is.
Oh, that's hard.
I don't know that story. It's hard. Can somebody look up that?
No. Okay. I'm gonna go. I know she's been canceled and maybe deservedly so, but with that Alice Munro story, I think it's called "The Bear Came Over the Mountain," about
Okay.
the wife with Alzheimer's. I really love that.
Okay. Correct.
That or the Simplica Girl Diaries by George Saunders.
Okay. All right. Correct. Every story needs
A compelling character.
oh yeah,
You don't
definitely.
have to like them, but they need to be interesting.
Right. And as we said, it can even be really interesting to write a character that you don't like. All right. The Last Day is about,
Endings.
all right, yeah, definitely that first section. Oh my God, everybody's getting divorced or was divorced or is not especially happy that they're not divorced or um, uh, I was going to ask, are we destined to break up?
I don't think all endings are bad, though. I mean, like in the first story, the title story, it's called The Last Day, and it's about the ending of middle school is the official, application of it. But sometimes endings are, a happy thing, or anyway, a mixed bag.
Hmm. Yeah, correct. I
Correct.
yeah. I never leave my home without my
Without a buck in my purse. I always
oh,
have a buck on me.
okay. Excellent. Most people just go right to their phone. They never leave without a
Yeah.
phone, but you never leave without a book. How inspiring. I'm going to give you correct on that. Very, that's,
Okay.
yeah, you're welcome.
Some kind of think of it as probably more essential, but I do always have a buck in my purse.
Excellent. Now this section is multiple choice, A or B. These are all about your writing habits, which we're going to talk about a little bit more after this exam is over. Where do you write? Quiet room at home or loud coffee shop?
Mostly at home.
Okay, but could you write in a loud coffee shop?
Yes.
Okay.
And actually, the one story you guys published was a loud coffee shop story.
Oh, excellent. Correct. When do you write? Every day or when the feeling hits you?
I wish I wrote every day, but honestly, I get most of my writing done in the summer when I'm not teaching.
Okay, interesting. Uh,
And
okay,
I don't wait for the feeling to hit me then. It's more, okay, it's time to get some stories done.
buckle down and get it done. Okay, good. Correct. How do you read? Ebook or paper?
Paper, definitely paper.
Okay, but recycled paper, of course, right?
I hope so. Yeah, I know that's not environmentally sound to say paper, but I don't love the Kindle, I have to say.
Yeah. There is something um, really the intimacy of the book is removed, I guess. Uh, yeah, correct. Okay, I'll give you a correct on that. How do you write? Scribble on napkins or fancy journal?
Between those two, fancy journal, but mostly really on my computer.
Okay. Um, do
Is
you?
that a wrong answer?
I don't know. I mean, it's sort of it's not, do you ever scribble on napkins?
I mean, I guess if I'm inspired and I have no paper on me, yes, the napkins would probably honestly be my phone, and
Right.
writing
Okay.
notes on my phone.
Do your friends give you fancy journals?
My husband has a big stack of moleskin journals that occasionally I plunder.
Oh, wow. Okay. Um, and you write in them.
Occasionally.
Okay, so I'm afraid I'll mess them up. They're so pretty, and so I really have a hard time writing in them. Okay, so you've done very well on the pop quiz, but you could even get more points. Right now you have around 632 points, but you could get a few more. this is the bonus question. What has been your oddest or most fulfilling experience as a writer?
I think finding, people like all of you, honestly. I mean, I think finding writer friends. No, seriously. I think the thing that was transformative for me in writing was finding a first reader who I really, who I love and whose judgment I really trust. And that made all the difference for me. And then the expanding circle, all my AWP buds, my fellow editors. Writing is so lonely, it's nice to be friends with other people who do it.
That is such a great transition. Oh, thank you. You've got 700 points. That's full marks on the top there.
All right.
Yeah, that bonus question pushed you over the edge. But what a great transition to the idea of collaboration. In a smoke long summer, just a couple of months away, we are going to enjoy a webinar led by Michelle Magowan and Michelle Ross. Did I say Michelle Magowan? Michelle
Yeah, but I
McGowan.
like that.
Let's
I
do Michelle
smashed
McGowan.
that.
Kim McGowan and Michelle Ross about writing in collaboration because our theme this summer is the Global Flash Village, and we're going to look at community, celebrate community, and write in community and learn from writers who collaborate during the summer. And we can't wait to do that. Michelle McGowan. Goodness. Um, that's we'll have to call you Ross Gowan. We'll
I
say
like Michelle McGowan more than Kim Ross,
Kim
personally.
Ross.
I think it goes together better.
Kim Ross. Kim Ross sounds like a famous actor. Oh, I don't know. All right. All right. Thank you. That's happening. But let's talk about your writing habits because you're one of the most prolific flash writers I know, and I know quite a few flash writers.
You do.
So yeah, I was just talking to who was I talking to? And I'm so thrilled and privileged to be able to travel as much as I do and to get to hug all of you people. Um, Actually, all of the people on my screen right now, I hugged last week or just a few days ago. So, but what is your writing? What is your approach to the discipline of writing?
So I'm not one of those write every day people. Um, I'm on an academic calendar and I get a lot of writing done during my school breaks. So we get 4 months off for the summer. So I turn in my grades, I'm done. I have a couple blurbs I need to write, and then I'm going to start doing my own writing. And then winter break too. And honestly, I think part of what initially drew me to writing flash fiction is it was the kind of writing I could do with having a busy life, and having small kids and having fairly demanding day job. At least for me, I can write a draft of a flash story in a couple hours and then, revise at leisure. And that isn't true for, a novel, which took me years, or long form stories. So that was definitely part of the initial draw to Flash is this is a way I can, get a lot of drafts done and then polish them up and be happy with them.
Mm-hmm. I was struck again and again by how proficient this is at Flash because you are taking uh, different situations, different characters, and different um uh, lives, and applying the craft of Flash to those stories that feel to me like Flash, and there are so many of them. It's such a meaty book. Um, so, how many years does this represent? I think it's said in the acknowledgments.
I mean, my last book came out, so not including the Michelle book, because those were all collaborations. My last short story collection came out in 2022. So
Mm,
most of these, there are 73 stories in the new book, and there's some nonfiction too. Maybe 7 essays and whatever, 66 short stories. And most of them I've written since, call it 2021. There are a couple older ones there that, for whatever reason, didn't fit in the last book, but most of them are from the last 4 years.
okay. Well, I congratulate you on um, you're just a writer. It's like
Aw,
you're not dabbling. You are, man, you are, uh, I have high respect, for your ability to sit down and write the stories.
well,
Um,
that means a lot coming from you, Chris.
and I would
And I
think,
do feel like Flash is I think it took me years to figure this out, but Flash feels like my natural length, like
mhm,
I, how runners or, marathon runners or sprinters or whatever, I feel like
yeah.
um, around 1,000 words feels like the form that comes most easily to me.
Yeah, y'all, Kim is saying that, but she'll publish a novel in 6 months or something, or so. Yeah, no,
Only if I do it by accident. I don't think I will ever, deliberately sit down and write a novel.
I think you said something about that the other day. That just like,
Yeah, I thought I was writing a short story collection of linked short stories, but they started fusing.
yeah, I think we had the same conversation the other day. They started fusing like large metropolis centers that just became Mexico City at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Please read a little bit more for us.
Okay. So I read from the romantic relationships and the friends section. So this is from the family section. And the family section is all different kinds of family members. So parents, kids, siblings, awkward blended families like Chris's breakout rooms, but the step family version. So this story is called Stew, as in, a beef stew. Stew. My 76-year-old mother decides to move to San Diego, where my sister Bethany lives, instead of San Francisco, where I live. It's not personal, Anne, she says. But you always fight with Bethany, I remind my mother, and she agrees. Bethany is annoying and impossible to get along with, but she says Bethany will take better care of her. Specifically, she says, Bethany will cook for me. She'll make me stew. Since when do you like stew? Fine, I can order you stew on DoorDash. I remind my mother that the weather in San Diego is artificial, too sunny and perfect, and that she hates the famous zoo. One can never see the animals, only their eyes gleaming through foliage. In the San Francisco Zoo, I tell her, animals are completely exposed. She snorts. Why would I go to a zoo? Bethany's kids are in high school, and you, she pauses. I know what she's thinking. Violet only counts as a half grandchild to her because my wife, Renee, just dated her. I tell my friend Louise that I suspect my mother's decision is about San Francisco more than Bethany and Stu. My mother is afraid of San Francisco. She thinks it's full of naked men and queer people, and she constantly asks about, quote, your homeless problem, unquote. If I say unhoused people, she snorts again. She's not wrong, Louise points out. We're sitting in a cafe in the Castro, where Louise and I both live, and Louise gestures to the naked man across the street. Well, almost naked. He's wearing a gold baseball hat and Doc Martens. He has a long gray beard and gray pubic hair, but a surprisingly muscular body. And look at us, we're queer. I sigh. Louise says, I'm confused. Haven't you dodged a bullet here? Be grateful that Bethany is willing to look after your mother. Bethany and I are 11 months apart. Irish twins, they called us back in Kansas City. We've never gotten along. In high school, I made it a rule that you could only be friends with me or her. Everyone had to choose. It's hard to shake the feeling now that I had when Jessica Perucci, whom I had a crush on that I refused to recognize as such, looked at me solemnly, said, well, okay then, and chose Bethany. How did Renee feel about the prospect of your mom moving to San Francisco? Louise asks. I tell her that Renee, when directly pressed, said she liked my mother, quote, well enough, unquote. But she said it in this weird-ass way, I explain. She said, I like your mother well, long pause, enough. Well wasn't modifying enough. Well was like an a parenthetical phrase. I like her, comma, well, comma, enough. Enough for what? To tolerate my mother being in a city of 800,000 people? Louise looks at me like I'm the one who's baffling, instead of my grudging wife, who won't say directly what she thinks, or my smug, competitive sister, or my mother with her inexplicable preferences. And I just want to say for the record, that is not about my mother at all, who loves San Francisco and has no issues with homeless people or anything else in the story. Should I read one more? Okay, so this is also a San Francisco story. I feel like a lot of these stories are San Francisco stories, and it's the last story in the book. It's called The Windiest Neighborhood in San Francisco. The windiest neighborhood in San Francisco. The day after my husband moves out, I tell my daughters, busy doing homework, I plan to go for a long walk. Instead, I take a short walk to the beer and sausage place in the Mission. I order my favorite double IPA and read a chapter of a novel. But it's extremely windy. The rickety wooden structure, built to accommodate outdoor dining during the pandemic, sways and rattles. The Christmas lights strung on the makeshift ceiling to give it a festive air chatter like teeth. I worry that the roof will collapse on top of me, and though it seems too flimsy to do serious harm, I reluctantly begin walking home. On the way back, though, I make an impulsive detour. I decide to visit the beautiful Victorian farmhouse on the corner of Mirabelle Street that 18 years ago, when I was divorcing my first husband and had not yet met my current husband, I tried to buy. My real estate agent attempted to talk me out of it. It would go for way over asking price, she warned me. And besides, it was a money pit. It needed a new foundation, a new roof, at least a couple $100,000, and long delayed maintenance. Still, I persisted. My bid, just above asking, was the lowest of 11 bids. A learning experience, Joan, my real estate agent, called it. I stand for a while admiring the Victorian farmhouse. It's more beautiful than ever. When I tried to buy it, it was extremely dilapidated. It looked like a haunted house. Now it's freshly painted white. Whoever lives there, unlike me, clearly can afford it. I look at the frothy lace curtains and the living room windows. I remember how my husband, who just left me, and I once walked here because I wanted to show Ethan my lost house. And he said, "Sure, it's beautiful, but the house you bought instead, our house, is much more practical." That moment, I felt like someone who made smart choices. But it's too windy to stand there any longer. So I walk home, which means from that location, walking up a rocky, exposed hill. A pine cone flies at me as if someone has taken aim. The elements seem to possess malicious intent. I walk more quickly. My neighborhood is notorious for being the windiest in San Francisco, and June is the windiest month of the year. I remember that when I first bought my house and moved in alone, the wind blew so fiercely that I was afraid my new house would blow down. In the middle of the night, I called the husband I was then divorcing and told him that I felt like one of the three little pigs in a house made of straw. He assured me that I was safe and not one of the pigs. "It will be okay," he said. Shortly after that night, I met the man who has just left me. As I walk the last steps home, I think that my practical house is, after all, made of straw. I insert the key in our sticky lock, which my husband, before he left, kept promising and then forgetting to oil. My older daughter opens it. "Mother," Louisa says. It's a new affectation to call me mother instead of mom. "Your hair is all twirled. You look like a soft ice cream cone." I worry that this girl will grow up to be, like me, an impractical, artistic sort. "It's very windy out," I explained to Louisa, whom I've been concerned about how she will cope now that her father has moved out. She smiles and says, "Oh, Mom, I love the wind." Thank you.
Thank you so much. You're so good at dialogue. And as I began this author event by saying the scene is really important to your writing, and you do it so well. Really, scene upon scene upon scene really work well because the dialogue's so good. Snarky or whatever, but it's like it works really well. So kudos for that. I would like to I have a couple of questions. I'm going to give away a book before I forget it, because I get to the end of events and I forget it. Kim, give me a number between 1 and 30.
11.
11. That's a good number. That's an easy number to find. It is Kara. Kara Conca. Do you have the book?
I don't, but I will love it. Thank you.
You're going to get it.
I'm so excited.
All right. Excellent. Okay, so now I have a couple of other questions, and the first one is, how do you have a spreadsheet, Kim, of journals that you submit to? Because you are a person who submits work. Like I talk to a lot of people who are like, "Oh yeah, I'm not really sure about submitting, la 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 la." You submit. And do you have a spreadsheet?
I don't, but I'm laughing because Chris, of course, knows this from personal experience. Because I have bombarded Smoke Long with many, many submissions over the years.
As everyone should. I mean, really, Just send us
I
stuff.
mean, smoke long's the best. Um, I'm constantly looking for journals to submit things to. It has to have a pretty website. It has to have writing I really like. I mean, you see this in the submission guidelines all the time about read our journal before you submit here. And I think that's important to do. You really want to make sure that you're submitting to a place that you like its fellows. You'll be happy with the other stuff that is out there. And every year when the Wigleaf's top 50 come out, I comb through the top 50 and also the long list. And I tally up how many stories from each of those journals are on those lists. And that always gives me a few more journals to submit to. I have writer friends who feel like they have to cast a really wide net. And once you've published in a journal, they don't want to republish there. And I'm not like that. I mean, when I find journals I like, many of the stories in my book were published in, the same journals because I really like that journal's aesthetic and what they do.
Okay, so what are your dream journals?
Well, are we talking about Flash?
Anything.
I mean, the thing about being a writer, right, is that the goalposts are always moving. So I do really remember thinking once upon a time, if I just publish one story, I will be happy and satisfied. But then you always want the next thing. So my dream journals, I mean, the New Yorker,
Of course.
Granta, Paris Review. My dream journals for Flash, I mean, Smoke Long again, and Wigleaf, and I think the only journal that publishes Flash that has not published me that I would really, that is high up on my list is Cincinnati Review. I think I've published at least one story and my top 10 list with Flash.
Okay. But like their micro series?
Yeah, the ones that are, has Cincinnati reviewed as those 500 words and less. Yeah. But Smoke Long is always honestly the first place I will send something to.
Okay, so I
Sorry.
will give you your $50 later. Thank you for saying that. Yeah, no. We love our previous contributors. Kim sent us a story. Oh my goodness, how long ago was this? It was like 6 years ago, 7 years ago.
I can't even remember, but it was in my last book. It was in the book with the white cover, How Far I've Come. First story in that book.
Yeah. Yeah, and thank you
What's it called?
thank you for sending us your work.
Useful information.
Yeah.
And that one, Chris, I actually wrote on my phone because I did not have a journal with me and I did not have my computer with me.
I would
And I
find
was
that
on a
maddening.
bus
I
and
would find that maddening. Can't write.
yeah, I know. I don't like writing on my phone, but I passed this house with a bright orange door that just, was one of those rare moments where it's like, oh, a story. I have a story in my head. So I wrote it on my phone and emailed it, that first draft to myself. So maybe I should do that more often.
That's amazing. Well, we talked about this a few days ago at the event in Santa Clara, the Santa Clara University event. That it is so important just to be open to noticing, things around us. That stories are just waiting to be told around us, all around
Yeah.
us. Yeah.
I think this is something you and I have in common as writers is that we're observers. So for me, it's all about like collecting data that I, pack away and will use in a story sometime.
Yeah.
I mean, that
Yeah.
last story I just read, total fiction, but the house is real. I mean, the house that I wanted to buy and was too expensive and
Hmm.
I mean, it's a good thing I didn't buy it because I couldn't afford it and would never have been able to, do all the work it needed to do. That is a real house.
Excellent. Yeah, that happens to me so often that that a real object or person or situation starts and the story is complete fiction. It has nothing to do with anything but that really that spark that got a different fire going from what the reality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The dog with the brown eye and the blue eye.
Yeah.
There's almost always in one of my stories like one real thing that I saw that, is like the little grain of sand that, you know, the story sort of shapes around.
Yeah. So something that John Dufresne said in our last Master Series interview was he quoted or he actually wrote this idea that fiction is the lie that tells the truth. I'm not sure if that's his line, but I remember him quoting it or saying it just because it's his line. Do you agree with that?
I love that. I mean, it could be that that applies to a certain kind of writer, like writers who tend to work in, psychological realism, but that feels very true to me. And for me, the biggest compliment someone can pay me is to say that character feels like a real person.
Yeah, your characters do, of course, feel like real people. I think I feel that in every story, and that's kind of where I'm going with all of the things I'm saying is that they do feel, of course, like real people. Um, is there a truth to the last day? Is there a truth that you're trying to tell us? You only have four.
Um,
You only have 4 minutes for this. So
Yeah, okay. So I don't like it. I mean, Chris and I were just talking about endings and how often I think for both of us endings will fail when they feel too self-explanatory.
yeah.
But there is one line in one of my stories, and I'm going to mangle it. I can't remember exactly how it goes, but it's something like, okay, well, forget the line. I won't try and capture the line, but the concept is that the passage of time is not a story of attrition, it's a story of accretion. And I do feel like that's true. I mean, to me, this is not a sad book, even though a lot of the stories are about endings. And I hope that comes across in that last story that I read. I
Huh.
think,
That what just that the ending is more like a cup brimming over. That's
yeah, I
also an
guess
ending.
I feel like I'm at a stage in my life right now, so I'm 58, where I think a lot of people are really freaked out about getting older.
Hmm.
I mean, who are my age. And some things about getting older, of course, suck, like needing reading glasses. But generally, I honestly feel like my life keeps getting better and better. So I don't know. I think I'm making the book sound way too self-helpy, and it is not at all.
No,
But
no, I didn't.
I
I
do
also
feel
didn't mean.
like,
I also didn't mean to make it
yeah,
sound.
it wasn't you, Chris, it was me. But I do think like if there's a message here or a thread, it's something about um, maybe not being afraid of, the passage of time because um, I don't know. For me, there are a lot of, well, I know I sound like a total cheese ball, but I really do feel like my life keeps getting better. And there are things that are scary. And for me, because I'm a writer, the scary things go into my stories. Like, right now I'm facing down the empty nest, and that feels like a scary new stage.
Mm.
But, I get to watch my little birds fly.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I just have to say, I like cheese balls.
Yeah,
They have really, really good cheese balls in Brazil, I have to say. And I got some gluten-free ones the other day. And I want to
yeah,
say that I think the thread in this book is that human relationships are an amazing thing, and
yeah,
we have the opportunity to explore them. And you, as a writer, have a unique ability to explore them. And it's just, it is like a tour through human relationships. And I think you do it really well. But that fear, like not fearing the passage of time, but also not fearing the human relationships that we have the privilege to be part of.
yeah. I think that's beautifully put.
Stop it. Anyway, we're out of time. Oh my God. Thank you so much, Kim. I love this book. Now, if you've tried to purchase it with our discount that Moon City gave us, thank you, Mike. What is Kim working on now? She's working on a novel that's going to be out next week, I'm sure.
God, no. No, so I throw all the news stories into the work in progress file. It's just called New Story Collection. And it's about 30,000 words now. So half a book, it's at least a year away from being done. And the thing that makes it a little bit different from my other books is it's a little more speculative and witchy. There's a few stories with magic in it and witches.
Oh,
There's actually one story at the very end of this book that's a ghost story. So
okay.
I was leaning into that a little bit more.
Okay, but you would describe yourself as a realist.
Yeah.
And so this is a departure from an experimentation and what are you finding out about your writing when doing it?
I mean, it's sort of like writing that asshole character in The Light Source. It's fun, fun and a little bit silly. It's a new way. I mean, I'm still talking about the same things, like the sort of humiliations of being in a middle-aged body, or mother trying to get her kids to behave and they aren't behaving, so she curses them. I mean, literally curses them.
A good idea.
So it's the same old stuff. It just has a magic component to it.
Okay, excellent. Okay. So, Kim, thank you so much for spending this time with us. Everyone, if you have not purchased the book and you want to use the discount code, it's in the Village. If you're in Smoke Long Fitness, you have access to the Village. It's in your navigation on the left side of the screen. If you are not in Smoke Long Fitness, you can go to Blue Sky Hey Flash Village and you can join the Village free. And you will get all of these things, interviews with Flash writers, editors, what's happening in the world with the Flash community. So that's where we celebrate the global Flash community. Okay. Thank you, Kim. And
Thank you,
everyone else.
Chris. Thank you, everyone, for coming.
See you in the workshop, everyone. Bye-bye.